Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year! Brandon Jones here, founder and voice of GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers!
And Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello, hello.
For the first trailer score of 2016. There have been scoreable trailers so far this year. I apologize for not scoring them. There were other things to worry about. We're doing lots of preview coverage, lots of ways to kick off the new year in various ways. This trailer needs to be scored. I think, when I see my Twitter just light up with people being like, okay, yep, gotta score that one. So thank you to all people who have given us good suggestions to score trailers. But this one, it's my birthday today. I wake up and I get some Joker, I get some Harley, I get some Deadshot. I get a popular song, which I love to nitpick, so let's nitpick.
Is this the real life?
Let me out of here, Donald, please.
Let me have you, partner!
Bohemian Rhapsody picked for the official trailers. We've had 2 teaser trailers, I guess.
One leaked.
This is labeled right. This is labeled the official trailer for Suicide Squad. Bohemian Rhapsody is picked. Not a song that we think is really overused. Like, I can't think of another movie that really... I mean, Wayne's World obviously was in the movie, but, I can't think of another, ad campaign that has used it. We can get into the song choice and kind of what it means, if anything, other than just being fun. And, I mean, the song is about a criminal, I guess, someone who does something and feels guilty, but, the protagonist of Bohemian Rhapsody is not someone I feel compares to all of the crazy, nutty, ultra-violent people that we're watching in this movie. I want to start out by addressing a concern I had when I first saw the news that Suicide Squad was going to get greenlit. This movie was going to happen. I was like, okay, well, this is clearly DC and Warner Brothers' counter to Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, oh, you can make a movie about pseudo-villains, about kind of underdogs, as long as you really paint them that way. Like, that this movie's going to be extremely unlike any of the other hero movies that we're going to make. Which will make up for the fact that, no one knows who Groot is, no one knows who Drax is, no one knows who Gamora is. Now they do, because that movie was really great. So they're like, we could have something here. We could have a Will Smith Deadshot franchise. Like, the possibilities are out there. We just have to make this a fun movie. And boy, did this just cement it, that, they want this to be Guardians so bad. I mean, this is their Ooga Chaka trailer. Popular music was a theme that ran through Guardians of the Galaxy, so obviously it was something that kept coming up in all of their advertising. I think it's something they're really trying to recapture here. The very first thing we see in this trailer, the song starts immediately. So, the song just owns this trailer. And I think it's fun. I think this was the trailer that I almost got a Guardians. This is the trailer that Suicide Squad needed right now to show how crazy and how fun this movie was going to be. But I think there's some stuff they still needed to do, and I have some issues with just the song choice and how it was used. But I'm curious what you think, Kyle.
Boy, you teased your opinions well. I'm curious where we're going with this. I think it's a very good trailer. I like that Guardians first trailer where it's just they just say who each character is.
Yeah.
You needed that. Yeah, I mean, they didn't say which. I think there's still some who didn't get mentioned. But yeah, just saying, oh, we have a fire guy, and saying he's a fire guy. I know it's simple, but that's actually super important. And I think it was a good idea to introduce at least some of the Suicide Squad in that manner. And yeah, it's a fun trailer. I think that's really worth stating is that, you feel an energy from this trailer. And I think that's also a really good idea for a movie called Suicide Squad. And you're not sure what kind of tone it's going to set, and here we go. Worst heroes ever. I don't love that, the title, Worst Heroes Ever, but I get what they're doing with it. And I'm always stuck on the final line of a trailer. We're bad guys, it's what we do, is what Harley says after she takes that necklace. I wouldn't end on that one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We don't see them do bad stuff. We see them, they start off in jail. We get that, but then it's just oh, these badasses steal necklaces. It's okay, cool. That's what you end on. That was your final point that you tried to make in your trailer. Otherwise, I think it's a really good trailer.
It's interesting because I feel like at first, when you kind of see the profiles of everybody, and you just hear that guy screaming, I think there is a little bit of seriousness left in it, and then once he screams at the camera, there's that kind of goes out the window. It's okay, what is this? And then it just kicks into full gear, and I think that's the thing about this song choice. There is sort of the song is sort of psychotic in some ways. It kind of jumps all over the place, and I think that's sort of what they're trying to capture here. I actually do like what they did with the bullet sound effects going along with it. I think that made it pretty fun. I'm curious to see how this movie goes. It's gonna be, it's gonna be hard to say exactly what this arc is gonna end up being like.
The danger that I think you have, it's a purse, by the way, Kyle. The danger that I think you have with picking one song and having that song just kind of like devour your entire trailer is your trailer now becomes incredibly predictable. It's like the moment I heard this is the real life, I was like, okay, I know what the end of this trailer is going to be. I'm just waiting for it now. Because obviously we're going to build up to, the big, Wayne and Garth headbanging in the car sequence, and we're going to see helicopters crashing, and
Will Smith shooting guns.
and, Croc eating people, and lots of fire and stuff like that. They kind of hamstring themselves right out of the gate by trying to surprise me as much as possible by changing the song, and actually I think they did a pretty decent job. I've seen like blogs with the title that like this game or this trailer just completely bastardizes this song, but I think they actually did it
because it skips forward,
because it just kind of it messes around with it a little bit.
Sure.
I think it actually does it very cleanly. I mean, if you know the song, it's obvious what changes were made, but it didn't feel uncomfortable to me. It seemed like a DJ making a move instead of like a magician being like, you didn't see that, that always cracks me up whenever people do that with music, where I'm like, how did you not think I would hear that song is suddenly 2 minutes shorter than it was before? And so I think it's meant to be erratic in that way. I like Jai Courtney cracking open the can and sipping. It's like you need to have those moments if you're going to make this at all exciting or unique. You need to have the hammering sounds when you see the guns. I think maybe the part where Will Smith's constructing the gun kind of seems the most contrived to me, or like,
it's like,
or just kind of
yeah,
like feel
sure.
like I'm on an escalator, or I'm just like, okay, like I'm not really being like pulled forward. And I think that's one of the tricks, not only with a song, a song-based trailer, but like really with any trailers, that like you need to be ahead of me. Anytime where I kind of catch up to you and the thing like, well, I know what I'm going to see next, or I know the moment that I'm going to happen next. That's where the pace isn't working with your trailer. And this trailer kind of does that sometimes. I mean, other than the crime connotations, like, is there anything that evokes Suicide Squad, that evokes Joker with Bohemian Rhapsody with Queen, other than just...
You're still stuck on that song choice, huh? You're really not.
I just wonder why, because that's the win, that's the slam dunk, that's the field goal. That like not only does it fit the action and everything, but like I see what they did there with that song, and that they're not doing anything there with that song. Like there's no hidden meaning there.
No, I think it's a cool song. You know what I mean? I think that's what they went with.
I gotta say that the worst heroes ever, I just can't stand that as a tagline.
Yeah, that's such a weird tagline.
We already know like nobody's gonna consider them heroes, so it's
which kind of brings me to my last point, which I started around an 8 and I dropped because I don't know what the hell's happening still. We're 3 trailers in. I have no idea who they're fighting. I don't know how they're going to save the world. That helicopter that comes flying in the city, like, is that good? Is that... I'm assuming they're shooting, anti-air missiles, because isn't that what a helicopter shoot when missiles are flying at them?
You shoot
the missile
you
will
shoot
hit.
I forget what they're called. You shoot them behind you.
Yeah. That's what that looked like.
Those chaffs.
I struggle with it because Guardians of the Galaxy did the same thing. Like Glenn Close, this is a great line. I actually watched a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy trailers before we talked about this. Where Glenn Close is like, are you telling me that 12 billion people's lives are in the hands of these criminals? Guardian seems much more of a comedy than this does. This seems very serious. There are actually some Will Smith shots in some of the earlier trailers where you see him with like a kid or something. Yeah. I'm just like, whoa, there's actually kind of getting into... there's not a lot of, like, Harley's the only one making jokes here. I mean, Joker, obviously. But the tone seems to be much more serious.
Except for Worst Heroes Ever.
Which is maybe why
goofy,
that doesn't...
letters that don't fit. Yeah,
maybe why that doesn't hold water. But with Guardians, the tone seemed to make sense, that they're like, well, we don't really need to get into... the villains or kind of what's happening there. We'll show you them, but you don't really need to know, like, who he is, where he's from, why he's pissed. Whereas in this, I kind of want to know, especially by this point. I think it's very important, especially with Joker's involvement. It's like, Joker makes Harley, and then she's in Suicide Squad, and the only person I'm seeing do bad things is Joker? So are they fighting Joker? Is Harley fighting Joker? Like, is she mad at him? Or how? And then she's in a car with him? Like, what? It just... I think that would have been the thing for me that would have really cemented, like, why this is exciting. And, like, as a DC fan, like, I do kind of know what's going on, but I just needed to see it. We get, like, a little... subway flash, and that's our only sense of like one character we haven't met yet.
Oh, the bad guy.
The bad guy. So Again, if you're gonna throw out a line like they need to save the world, tell me how or why or what or what that involves, because it looks like they're just vandalizing. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, having this world with all these characters in it, I mean, it leaves me questioning. Okay, well, why not the heroes? These guys are in jail. Where are the heroes?
Yeah, why it needs to be them.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't necessarily think you need to do with something like Guardians, because it's a little bit lighter, a little bit funnier. You got a talking raccoon. Like the stakes are different. But with this, there's with the exception of Croc, who doesn't do a whole lot in this trailer. Like these are all just dudes, that have very specific skills. Well, and dude and a couple ladies, Katana and Harley. And just before I score it, just for the record, as a huge Batman fan. I like Harley. I like Joker. I'm curious to see what they do with it. Like, they aren't my de facto roles for the character, but I like that Margot's doing her own thing with Harley. I never got a sense of danger from Harley. Harley was kind of a fun comic character, but I was never scared of Harley, like in the comic books or on the animated series. Whereas I definitely have been scared of Joker at various points, depending on who's played him. So I like that she seems a little more unhinged. A little more like she doesn't necessarily know what's going on all the time, whereas like the old Harley, as much as I love her, seemed like she was doing a bit always, and so like I kind of like where they're going with that. I think Jared Leto's extremely unpredictable. I'm very curious to see again what he's up to, which is kind of the fault that I have in the trailer. I'm gonna stick it a 7.9 because my original was an 8, and then I was just like, I just don't feel just not an 8.
So you're feeling the Harley. I want to talk about that one scene then. That's the longest line of dialogue we get, where she's just like, "Oh, what's that? Kill them all? That's just what the voice in my head said. Just kidding. That's not really what they said." Do you like that part of this trailer?
I don't like it. I think it might fit the movie. I think they hold on it too long for the trailer.
Yeah, that's the longest chunk of this trailer. Like they hit the brakes for that scene, and I don't think it has an impact. And personally, I don't think it was a good idea to accentuate that part.
Well, what it shows is that all of these guys get together. I mean, you have like Jai Courtney, who like they break out of this body bag and immediately punches somebody in the face, and so it kind of shows that like they're all angry and they all have pent up emotions, and like Deadshot, from what we've seen from other trailers, like has a past, has a family, has something connecting him to other things. Whereas, like, none of them really like Harley. It seems like she's the one that, like, they're not really excited she's with them.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe that's to kind of set up that she's a loose cannon, that, like, not even they understand her, There are better lines of dialogue to convey that, I would say. I want to give it an 8.5, though. I think it's a really good trailer. I think that, like you said, this is the trailer the movie needed. I think it's unfortunate that first trailer was leaked. Obviously it didn't have all the footage they wish they could have used. But yeah. I think that it makes, me personally excited to see this movie. And so, yeah, I think that it does a lot of work, basically. It has a lot to prove, and it did that. And, I think they've received a positive response for it because of how good this trailer is, how good the edit is.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Brandon, how you talk about it being very, serious, and you get that tone here and there. But I think what this trailer especially does is it makes it seem very playful, and I think that's part of those Harley scenes is just like, hey, whatever, we're just out here doing our thing. I almost feel premature judging this because like as a trailer, like okay, this is fun, this is playful, etc. But like, how well does that actually represent the movie? Like, are we going to feel this amount of playfulness from the movie, or is it going to be way more like serious and intense? But I think overall, just from this impression, I think I give it an 8. It definitely makes me interested in seeing this movie. I'm not gonna say like, oh, this is terrible, I'm going to skip it. It's like, no, actually, I want to know what's going on.
So 8.1 is what we give the Suicide Squad trailer. This is probably it. We'll get some TV spots, but like I don't think we're gonna get another huge announcement.
Oh, we are. We're gonna get the trailer that you want, where they're gonna talk about the bad guy.
We're actually gonna get into like what Joker's up to, and
sure.
You think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love that one expression from Joker where he's just all teeth with the gun, smiling. Like I've never seen Joker do that before. That's neat. I'm excited to see.
You've never seen Joker smile with a gun before? What do you mean?
I've never seen him make that completely unbridled, just crazy, goofy, just 5-year-old holding a chocolate cake in his hand smile. Like he looks like a very indulgent Joker.
Sure.
He looks like he's just a very savage, like like a younger Joker. He's interesting. I've never seen a Joker like him. I'm always down for that. I'm always down for somebody doing a new Joker.
Cool.
If I go to a costume party, I'm way more tempted to have a conversation with the guy who was like, whoa, crazy Joker, dude, rather than okay, animated series Joker, I get it, you nailed it, you put the money forward, you have your outfit, you did it to the nines, versus like, hey, I'm gonna take the character and go in this crazy direction. Love the titles too. Got to give a shout out to the titles.
With the way they look, or you love it being called worst heroes ever?
No. I'm sorry. The style of the titles,
Okay,
the Technicolor.
Yeah.
I love this as DC Comics. A K goes over the C in comics for like a couple seconds, like just kind of glitches in and out. And the posters have really been great so far. So they're definitely having a field day advertising this. But I wonder again, them picking the song, them going really overboard with all of the posters and everything, is them realizing we've got to make a ton of money with this if we're going to invest in Suicide Squad. So I wonder, is this a drama that has enough comedy that can carry it, or are they kind of confused and marketing it in every possible way that they can? We will ultimately see when the movie comes out, but thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blood.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next episode.